Good morning, students. Today we shall be discussing about chapter 2, that is microorganisms, friends or foe. Microorganisms, due to their activities, may be our friends or may be our foes, that is enemies. These microorganisms cannot be seen with our naked eyes. We require microscopes to see them. These microscopes have different magnifying powers. In our laboratory, we use this compound microscope to see these microorganisms. Microorganisms are of different types. Maybe bacteria, maybe algae, maybe fungi, maybe protozoa, or maybe viruses. These algae are green due to presence of chlorophyll. Fungi, they are non-green, they lack chlorophyll. Protozoans, they are unicellular. They have a cell with a prominent nucleus, that is eukaryotic. And these bacteria, they are also unicellular. They don't have a prominent nucleus, so called prokaryotic cell. These microorganisms may be, due to their activities, uh, sometimes useful to us and sometimes harmful to us. We shall be talking about the viruses, which are which show the properties of living things as well as non-living things, on the basis of which they have been placed at the borderline between living things and non-living things. When they are inside the living body, that is a host cell, they become active, they grow, they reproduce, etc. That is, they show the sign of living things. But when they are outside the body, that is outside the cell, host cell, then they become inactive. They behave like non-living things. They have been placed non-living things, that is, they do not show any sign of the living things, and hence viruses have been placed at the borderline between living things and non-living things. These viruses contain nucleic acid, central nucleic acid, and outside the body it has a protein coat. When they enter the host cell, this overpower the host DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and then redirect the host DNA to produce viruses as per their requirement. Now we shall be talking about the microorganisms which are useful to us. These microorganisms are friendly. They help us a lot in different ways. These microorganisms may help us in making food, like curd. There is a bacteria called lactobacillus. This bacteria helps in making curd from milk. Some of the microorganisms help in making bread. They help in making alcohol. These microorganisms may be used in making medicines, like certain vaccines. In vaccines we use the dead microbes, or they have been weakened so that they do not cause any disease in the body. These vaccines protect us, when taken inside the body, protect us from various from the attack of microorganisms in future. These microorganisms can also be used to make antibiotics. These antibiotics are the drugs or biochemicals which protect us, which kill the microbes and protect us from these diseases. Sometimes they may not kill, but they stop the growth of these microorganisms and protect us from these harmful microbes. These vaccines, in fact, they are the biological preparations. They contain antigens, and when they enter the body, they stimulate the body's immune system to make antibodies. These antibodies are specific proteins. They remain in the body as guard, and when there is attack of these microorganisms, they kill the microorganisms and protect our body from being diseased. Now these microorganisms may be harmful to us. How harmful? Because they cause different types of harms to us. Some cause diseases. These disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. These pathogenic microorganisms cause a number of diseases in plants, animals, and human beings. These pathogens may cause diseases like tuberculosis, cholera, typhoid, common cold, etc. and etc. Some microorganisms grow in our food and make the food toxic, that is poisonous, by releasing some chemicals. These chemicals are called toxins. These toxins, when taken inside our body along with the food, then they may cause food poisoning. This food poisoning may, when occurs in the body, may cause nausea, that is vomiting tendency, may cause vomiting also. There may be muscular cramps, that is pain in muscles, maybe loose motion, etc. and etc. These microorganisms may be transferred from one person to another by contact, maybe this direct contact, maybe indirect contact, maybe through air, maybe through water, maybe through contaminated food, etc. The diseases which get transferred by these activities are called communicable diseases like cholera, chickenpox, tuberculosis, etc. These are communicable, can be transferred from one person, that is ill person, diseased person, to a healthy person. But some diseases do not get transferred. These are called non-communicable. Non-communicable diseases, when occur in people, they remain in them and they get destroyed with the death of the person. These communicable diseases may be caused by certain insects, may be caused by certain mosquitoes. These insects, mosquitoes, flies, etc. are the carriers. Two terms are there. One is vector, other is carrier. Vectors are those organisms, those insects, mosquitoes, etc., which carry the germs of specific diseases. But carriers are the organisms which carry the germs of many diseases. For example, malaria is caused by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. Here, female Anopheles mosquito is the vector, not the carrier. But this housefly can cause a number of diseases like cholera, typhoid, etc. So these are called carriers. So vectors and carriers both are the organisms which carry germs of many diseases. Now these microorganisms can cause diseases in plants also. They destroy the plants, they cause the poor production. These microorganisms may damage the plants, etc. and etc. Various plants and animal diseases are there. like citrus canker, mosaic disease, etc. Now, these food materials which get damaged by the microorganisms can be kept safe for longer duration by some methods called food preservation methods. These food preservation methods may be chemical method, that is food can be kept safe by adding some chemicals like sodium metabisulfite, sodium benzoate. These chemicals are called preservatives. These preservatives, when added in the food materials, can help in keeping them safe for longer duration. In our houses we use common salt. These common salts, um, when added in the food materials, cause the removal of water from the food as well as the microbes, and the microbes cannot grow in the food material, and the food material can be kept safe for longer duration. You might have seen many people keep pickles in brine solution, that is solution of salt. Some food materials can be kept safe by using sugar syrup, sugar solution. When we add sugar solution to the food materials, especially fruits, then what happens? The water from the food materials as well as from the microbes get removed and they do not grow. Means their growth is prevented and the food materials can be kept safe for longer duration. Many of the jams, jellies, marmalade, etc. are sold in the market. These have been prepared by using sugar syrups. When we add oil and spices, these also help in preserving food for longer duration. Especially pickling of food materials can help in keeping them safe for longer duration. Heat and cold treatment is another method of keeping food materials safe for longer duration. In general, we heat food materials like milk. When milk is boiled or other food materials are boiled, the germs get killed and they can be kept preserved for longer duration. This keeping food materials at low temperature, that is in the refrigerator, can help us check the growth of microbes and the food materials can be kept safe for longer duration. There was a biologist called Louis Pasteur. He had developed pasteurization method. In this method, milk is first heated to 71.5 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds and then suddenly chilled, packed in plastic containers or bottles, etc., and sent for consumers' use. This heat and cold treatment is called food preservation, pasteurization. Sometimes we pack food materials in airtight containers. This also helps to keep the food material safe for longer duration. So this is all about chapter 2, that is microorganisms, friend or foe. Now I am giving you some questions to be answered. You may note down what are microorganisms, what harm do they cause, what how are they beneficial to us. Draw the structure of a bacterium, Euglena. Okay, thanks. I shall see you in the class, and I shall see you in the next class. Thank you.